Listen, let me tell you something about this Knicks team. They have the identity. They have the physicality.
We could wake up and the Knicks could be in the conference finals. That's a thing that can happen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Empire State Hoops. It's been a week off, but we're right back here once again. This is Season 2, Episode number 4, Quattro of Empire State Hoops. I'm Adam Rothschild, and alongside me, that would be Matthew Vargo. And today's episode of Empire State Hoops has been powered by Sport Pros USA. For more information, visit sportprosusa.com or call 877-HOOPS-NJ to make your dream court a reality today. So, we missed out on a lot. Trade deadline stuff.
Yep.
All-Star weekend just happened. It was interesting to say the least, but, you know, it hasn't been exciting in a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically like that. The Knicks are getting ready for the second half of the season. It's going to be a tough stretch out of the All-Star break, which we'll get to later on as well, because the Knicks have a game coming up on Thursday against the 76ers, which we'll get to as well. So starting with the trade deadline, this is pretty interesting, because when we last talked about this, you said it was going to be a light trade deadline.
I did,
and
yeah.
It was very heavy, to say the least.
No big superstar, but a lot of, quality role players moved around, and, yeah, I was proven wrong. I gotta own it. A lot of moves were made, a lot of exciting ones. Definitely a pretty good trade deadline.
Well, let's get to your Philadelphia 76ers actually first, because
All right.
they traded for Buddy Hield.
Yep.
What was your take on that?
I like the move as a Sixers fan because, as I'm sure you saw, the second Joel Embiid was not in the lineup anymore, the 76ers just cratered down to earth. They lost 6 of 7 or something once he went down. And this move, I like it because it puts the pressure off Maxey in the backcourt, takes more pressure off of Tobias Harris. And if Joel Embiid can just be 70-75% of what he was when he went down, assuming if he comes back, which, knocking on wood, we'll see if he comes back. I think it was the same surgery that Lonzo Ball had when he had a meniscus problem when he was with the Bulls, and that's kind of terrifying because I don't know if Lonzo will ever play again. But anyway, in an optimistic world, if Joel Embiid can come back 75% of what he was, I think the Sixers, as long as they avoid Boston in the second round, can go on a run. I truly believe that. I know the Knicks are playing well. Cavaliers also playing really well, but I mean the Bucks. Doc Rivers masterclass thus far with the Bucks falling in the standings.
Man's literally coached 10 games, All-Star game head coach already, and it's how did I deserve this? And he just gets it somehow in some way. And now getting to the Knicks trade, this one really, really shocked me because they gave up a lot for 2 really good shooters that were available. One of them, who of course did play for the Knicks, that being Alec Burks, of course.
He did,
But getting Bojan Bogdanovic, he started his career with the Brooklyn Nets, and now seeing him over in New York, it's pretty interesting, and it's a great story for him too. Coming over from Croatia, one of the better known international players around the league, who's not many people are aware of because he played with a lot of the teams in the league. He played with Indiana as well. He had time with, and been playing with Detroit a lot recently, and he's been a target of the Knicks for a while now, and they finally get him, but giving up guys in this trade. You give up Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, and I believe it was Malachi Flynn, and 2 second-round picks. So with all of these trades, including the OG Anunoby trade, the Knicks have not given up a first-round pick.
That's right.
And they're going to keep this stuff for trading for a potential star player, which we don't know what it's going to be. So what do you think about this trade for the Knicks? Does it help them a lot? What is it going to be right now, especially with all the injuries they have right now?
What Leon Rose has done over the past month or two has just been really insane to think about because OG Anunoby, who I believe he's on an expiring contract or he may have a player option next year, but regardless, a good chance that he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. They got him for Barrett and Quickly. They're obviously going to have to pay Quickly, but you'll have to pay OG, so it kind of evens out. And OG is a more valuable player at a premium position on the wing. And getting Bogdanovic from the Pistons and Burks for only, what you said, a bunch of role players and 2 second-round picks, think about what Bogdanovic could have gotten the Pistons last season if they were going to trade him. There were some teams that were offering around 2 first-round picks for him. Why? because Bogdanovich, he's a wing player. He can knock down threes. He's a reliable scorer. And you saw on those teams when he was with the Pacers, when he was with Utah, when he was last on a winning team, I should say, in Utah, he was a very, very productive player. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Clarkson, all those guys, they were good. Never broke through to the finals, but good player, quality role player. And again, you keep all of your treasure trove of assets. Now, what are you going to do with them? I don't know. But there's a lot to look forward to, whether they decide to build off this core or ship off some of those guys and picks and make a big trade.
Well, the thing I love about Bogdanovich, he's a 19 point per game scorer off the bench for Detroit. He doesn't even start for Detroit, and he's averaging 19 a game off the bench. So, great shooter, great asset for the Knicks. Definitely a big help as well. So, it's been really, really important, I think, for the Knicks to get this. So, it's been really important.
You can never have here's the thing. You can never have too many three-point shooters on an NBA team in this day and age. Just guys who can come off the bench, instantly light it up from downtown. It's crucial to winning a championship.
Yeah, the same thing happened with RJ and Quickly, but I think getting guys like Burks and Bogdanovich who are much better shooters than RJ and Quickly. No disrespect to those guys, but of course the Knicks, it's a business. You got to make moves somehow to win, and that's what the Knicks are doing. They're trying to make winning moves, so it's been crucial right now.
Yep. It's been, honestly, as I said, I think I said it on the sports show back a while ago, there's teams like the Cavs and the Knicks, why not for the Eastern Conference Finals? Again, Philly injury-riddled. Milwaukee has a whole lot of issues they got to work with. It's like Boston. Boston feels like a lock for the Eastern Finals. Who else is going to meet him there? Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Philly? I don't know. It's really up for grabs.
Yeah, it's the Eastern Conference. Even last year, it was a toss-up also because you had Boston, Milwaukee, the Phillies. They're all up there. All these three teams are up there, and the Knicks and Cleveland just lurking inside, trying to find a way into the standings, of course, with the Knicks sitting in the 4th spot right now. And now having All-Star Weekend wrapped up, it was an eventful weekend to say the least, but as we know, All-Star Weekend hasn't been the same.
No.
It just hasn't. Since the good days of the dunk contest, since the good days of the best shooter in Golden State when Kenny Smith said, he's the best shooter in Golden State, when Steph Curry won the three-point contest, and those were the good old days, and
I haven't had it in a decade, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, now we just had Steph Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu, which that was actually good to watch. That was something good I think the league did, because saying something that really anybody could shoot a basketball. That's really what it showed there.
Well, yeah, you had the best shooter in the WNBA versus the best shooter of all time in Steph. I just find it incredible. I thought it was honestly more entertaining than the actual three-point contest itself. No disrespect to Dame for taking it home, but if he went up against Steph, he would have lost because Steph, what did Steph get, 29 in his 1v1?
Yeah.
It's insane to think about. Steph would have won, and Dame wouldn't have even made it past the first round if we were going by that, so it's a lot of fun to think about.
And the funny thing about this, too, was they put Sabrina's stats in with all the other guys that participated, and she would have beat guys like Jalen Brunson. She would have beat a bunch of other guys that were down on the bottom of the list that she would have beaten, because Brunson finished with 24, and he got knocked out in the first round. He was the last shot, he was one shot away from going to the second round, but it's the three-point contest. It's not an NBA championship. It's just All-Star Weekend.
I care more about it than the dunk contest these days, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-point's really the only special thing. The dunk contest, it's less people now. They used to have 6 or 8 players in it. Now it's only 4. And the skills challenge is a 3-team thing now. It's they made, when the thing they throw the ball into?
Yeah.
So it used to be so small, players couldn't get into it. They made it wider just so it's easier. It's so stupid. It was weird. Last year, too, they had, in Salt Lake City, they had, in the skills challenge, the rookie class was, trying to make a shot. It took them, 30 seconds just to make a three-pointer, and none of them could make it. It's absurd these days. I don't know what it is with the All-Star game.
At least Team Shannon versus Team Stephen A. was kind of fun for the Celebrity All-Star game. Seeing Puka Nacua skying for a dunk, honestly, the celebrity game might have been the highlight of the whole thing, honestly.
I mean, seeing Micah Parsons in the post against CJ Stroud,
yes.
that was actually cool. That was actually pretty cool. Seeing these football players out there, I could see Micah Parsons playing in the NBA, honestly.
Oh yeah. I mean,
maybe.
I feel like he'd have to slim down a little bit, but yeah, he definitely has the build of kind of a small forward, and I don't know Micah Parsons' height, though. I know he's a little bit small for even an outside linebacker, But yeah, still very cool nonetheless.
Yeah, no, the celebrity game is fun too. Just like seeing like all these athletes from other sports and like celebrities, of course, actors, getting in there and just playing basketball. Like, we've had Kevin Hart a couple years ago. He played in it, of course.
Loved it.
Do you remember the 3-point contest when him and Draymond Green in Toronto?
Yep.
It was like they gave him like a little tiny trophy. It was like
Yep. I remember that.
That was great.
That was awesome.
Those were some good times. So now getting into the actual game itself. The East scores over 200 points and wins.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Haliburton gets robbed of All-Star MVP.
Yeah, he got screwed.
Yeah, he got screwed over. I mean, Damian Lillard, he won it last year too, right? He won the All-Star MVP last year.
No, I think it was Jason Tatum.
Oh, that was Tatum. Yes, that was Jason Tatum. But yeah, I think the game was just the players were lazy. Like I saw Jokic after the game, he was just joking around with Luka. It was like, oh, Luka sucks. He didn't do anything out there. Like the guys were just there was one possession where it was like Luka and Jokic like back and forth, like playing hot potato, not even dribbling the ball. Like it was just like the pace was like probably the quickest game you've ever seen in basketball, and like scoring over 400 points combined. Like it's insane.
The problem is that people like it's kind of hard to fix the NBA All-Star game because at the central of the problem, the players they don't care. For them, it's just a stage to just goof around on. And everyone wonders, why no one cares about the All-Star game anymore. And I forget who tweeted about it, but I agree with it wholeheartedly. Why should we care if you guys don't care? Like, some of the things that we saw, like, it's all uncontested, like, Showtime dunks, half-court heaves from the likes of Dame and Halliburton. And I remember the one goof-around play that was probably my favorite was when Bam threw it off of Jokic's back, dribbled it up the floor, and then splashed a three in his face. Which that was pretty fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie there.
Yeah, that does sound pretty fun. I mean, it had its moments. I mean, you had who did the halftime show? It was Jennifer Hudson, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was like that shocked me because normally they'll have a hip hop rapper or like all those rappers today. Like, I mean, that was honestly cool. I think just because it was something different. Like when it comes to the music stuff, I think that was good.
I'll keep it real. I went to go take a shower during that part of it. I didn't really care. I didn't really care that much.
Yeah, I mean it's good for what it is, but there was another thing that I noticed also. Tracy McGrady brought up this interesting thing. Imagine if they had a 1v1 tournament instead of the skills challenge. Like you have it's like we always have the Jordan versus LeBron debate, the Kobe versus Jordan debate, like stuff like that. Like you take just two star players, take two good centers, take Karl-Anthony Towns and Nikola Jokic, put them against each other and see who wins.
I like that, but I feel like it would be better if it's a 3-on-3. Like have a 3-on-3 of say Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. I know Rudy Gobert didn't make the All-Star team, but something like that. Have 3 all-star players. Have a guard, a wing, and a center. Go up against, another, guard, wing, center combo, from the West. And just have, a 3v3 or something. I feel like that would be a lot more fun. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Adam Silver, if you're watching this, give you some bulletin board material. Fix the all-star game, my guy.
Please do. Please, please fix the All-Star game. That's all I'm saying.
It's better than last year's because at least we didn't have the head coaches just being yeah, that was the worst game of basketball I've ever seen in my life. Like we had with Mike Malone last year. So, I mean, I guess it was it's better, but it's last year was such a low bar to clear that it almost really didn't even matter what happened.
Yeah, I honestly think it was just the way that they've tried to change things. So going back to 2017, for example, the last time that it was East-West, the very next season they go to captains and picking teams.
Yeah.
Then they go the same thing again in Charlotte, I believe it was 2019. Then 2020 you're in Chicago. This was right after Kobe passed away, and they were all wearing the same numbers.
Yeah,
2
and 24.
2 and 24. So that was I mean that was understandable just because of the circumstances and all that stuff, and then they get back to the same thing next year, and it's I think it's good they went back to East-West because even though it does seem unfair, certain star players are on certain sides now, you got LeBron and Steph in the West, and you got Giannis and Dame in the East. It seems fair now, so I think it was a good way to go about it. But also saying another thing, this was LeBron's 20th All-Star game.
Yep,
that's a record.
Yep. What was it? The first time I think I saw a clip of it. LeBron first All-Star game 2005. I was just barely over 2 years old when LeBron first was an All-Star, and 20 years later, he's still hooping, still a top 10 player. Again, we get numbed by talking about LeBron so much. We have to step back and just think about how like one guy can dominate at such a high level for 20 years. Like most people in any business just get tired or like fall off of what they do after 20 years of doing the same thing over and over again. But LeBron, he's an outlier, man. And I know he was talking about it after the game about how more seasons he had left. He said, I haven't like mapped it out, but definitely not a lot left. So we'll see if he'll use that in free agency to go chase another ring or something. And that's like its own topic. But yeah, LeBron, he's been a constant every year. I think when they did the captains every year, he was always the captain. And it was either him, KD, Giannis. I think Steph also did it one year, I think.
Yeah, I think he did it like the first year it happened, maybe, I think. But
probably something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So the All-Star game is a wrap, and the second half of the season is underway. And we'll talk about that right after the break here on Season 2, Episode 4 of Empire State Hoops. We'll be right back.
Hey there, basketball fans. Are you ready to take your love for the game to a whole new level? Well, listen up. We've got something that will make your hoop dreams come true. Introducing Sport Pros USA, the ultimate destination for all your backyard sport court needs. Whether you're a diehard Knicks fan or just looking for some slam dunk fun with your family, Sport Pros USA has got you covered. Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon in New York, and you step out onto your very own custom-built backyard basketball court. The court where legends are born and memories are made. A court where you can unleash your inner baller and shoot hoops like your favorite Knicks players. But it's not just about basketball. It's about family, friends, and fun. Whether you're hosting a game of horse with your buddies or teaching your kids how to dribble and shoot, Sport Pros USA brings the magic of the game right to your doorstep. Our courts are more than just a place to play. They're a place to connect, bond, and create unforgettable moments. And with Sport Pros USA, you can have it all, right in your own backyard. We're not just building courts, we're building dreams. Dreams of buzzer beaters, comebacks, and endless laughter. So why wait? Give us a call at 877-HOOPS-NJ or visit sportprosusa.com today to start designing your very own backyard basketball court. Remember, at Sport Pros USA, we believe that every home deserves a court, and every family deserves the joy of playing together. So don't just watch the game, be a part of it.
And we are back here once again. This is Season 2, Episode 4 of Empire State Hoops. I'm Adam Rothschild. Alongside me, that is Matthew Vargo. And we just finished discussing the All-Star Weekend, which has now concluded. The second half of the season is upon us. The Knicks are riddled with injuries with the trade deadline past us now.
Yep.
And the update on OG Anunoby, they're saying about early March he'll get, I'm pretty sure it's looked at again, and then they'll get ready for him to take the court once again to get back into the starting lineup and fill in so we can have hopefully Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench and have Bogdanovich in the starting lineup as well. So
probably
that should be what we should be looking forward to.
Yeah, probably will be coming back around their homestand in early to mid-March against the teams like the Hawks, the Magic, the 76ers twice. I think that's probably when he comes back into the fray. But right now, not a whole lot to really like smash the panic button about, because I know Philly's only a half game back, but again, they've got to like figure out some consistency without Embiid. Milwaukee can't seem to get out of their own way. Boston, as we've already established, they just kind of seem like unpassable at this point for any team in the East. Like try as Cleveland might, they're just not good enough to catch up with Boston. So I kind of feel like if they can get into the top three and beat the 6 in a 3v6 and then go up against Cleveland, I mean, they'd have confidence going into Cleveland. They beat them last year, so not really. As long as you can avoid Boston, which they're on a fast track to do, I think they'd be pretty happy with themselves.
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a concern right now, especially with the players slowly coming back, and you got Cleveland in the mix there right behind the Knicks, and I'm sure the Knicks would gladly want to play Cleveland in the first round again. I don't see why not, but, with the playoffs about a month and a half away now, coming towards the second half of the season now in March, that's when teams start to clinch the playoffs. The Celtics are going to clinch very soon. They will.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. So, and Julius Randle, of course, he's been out since much of January. After he got injured against the Miami Heat with his shoulder.
Yeah, there's no update on him yet,
yeah,
so he might be even longer. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like right before the postseason to kind of like get him back up to speed prior to the playoffs. Fumbled there.
It's all good. It's all good. And Mitchell Robinson, I saw something about him a couple days ago as well. Who went out early on in the season with an injury right after, I think it was right before Christmas Day, something like December, maybe early January, he went out with an injury. But it looks like right before the playoffs is when they're trying to get him back.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tight squeeze, but we'll see if they can get him back into the mix because that would be absolutely huge.
I mean, so far they've prevailed against all the injuries, but right before the break, I mean, I guess it was catching up to them because again they got robbed against Houston, but then they got curb stomped by Orlando in the last game. So maybe they just needed a break from all the injuries that they've had. So yeah, they'll have to find like a steady rotation to rely on come the postseason.
Yeah, that's going to be the major importance here. And now looking at these next 4 games coming out of the break, which will resume on Thursday down in Philadelphia against your 76ers. And then they got the Boston Celtics, the Detroit Pistons, the New Orleans Pelicans, and I believe Golden State right after that. So the Boston game is a primetime game at the Garden on ABC.
Mm-hmm.
The Philly game at Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure that's just on MSG.
Yep.
But what is it going to take coming out of the break, knowing you're still banged up, going up against Philadelphia and Boston right away? Because it's going to be challenging. And the Knicks haven't played Boston at home, I don't think, since opening night.
Yeah, it's been a while, and they played them close. It was back and forth, but then Boston just kind of pulled away at the end. What helps is that the first game, the 76ers game, is on the road, and then it's 4 games in a row at home against Boston, Detroit, New Orleans, Golden State. I feel like just split with Philly and Boston. It doesn't matter which one you get or which one you drop. If you can split them, that's fine, and then roll off 3 straight against the Detroits, Golden States, and New Orleans before going into Cleveland, which is on the road, because that would be a good kind of like test for where you are, because Cleveland's like surged ever since they last played the Cavs, because when Cleveland last played the Knicks, they were like incredibly banged up, and I think they were able to split a back-to-back that they had with them. But overall, if you can just get to 4-1, that's a massive W for that 5-game stretch. If you can sweep all 5, unlikely as it may be, then you're overjoyed, because the odds that like Milwaukee can, I just don't think Milwaukee can roll off 5 in a row. I just don't think they can.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty difficult too. And I mean, the Detroit game we don't really have to talk about because like that's just too easy.
They beat OKC. They beat OKC though.
That's true. Yeah,
Yep.
they did beat OKC, which will be a future dynasty. I'm telling you right now, it will be. I mean, maybe 1 championship, maybe 2. We'll see what happens with that.
I mean,
but
why not right now? And before we like move on
Yeah.
to the next one, the Thunder. I mean, why not right now? I mean, Denver. The only obstacle they really have is Denver. I would take them over the Clippers and the Timberwolves.
they're the 2 seed right now, right?
Yeah, a game and a half behind Minnesota.
That's insane because they didn't even make the playoffs last year.
They were a
And-
play-in team.
Play-in team, yeah, play-in. Yeah, they were in play-in, but
Yeah, Minnesota just does not feel like a 1 seed like whatsoever. There's no like superstar on. I mean, like obviously they had 2 All-Stars, Ant and Cat, so it's not that they don't have star power, far from it, but it's just this kind of reminds me of like that IT Celtics team in 2017 that they were the 1 seed and they just didn't really like intimidate many people.
yeah, it's kind of like I forgot what I was gonna say, but I actually did forget. But yeah, now getting onto this next game with New Orleans after Detroit. I think going to go is Zion still? He's still healthy, right? I'm pretty sure.
For the most part, with the Pelicans, it's weird. Like, there's no drama with the Pelicans. Like, Zion, I don't know if he's been necessarily healthy, but it hasn't been a detriment where he's just missed, like, months and months and months, which is good because when Zion plays, he's obviously very fun to watch. Wasn't named an All-Star this year, I don't think, but here, let me think. Their last game before the All-Star break was against Washington. Yeah,
Okay.
Zion did play. Obviously, he's had several days off, so Zion should be good to go. Like, again, knocking on wood that he can stay healthy because, again, such a fun guy, just a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, I think it's a team that's in a good position right now, just trying to find a way to get into the playoffs. Obviously, they're not a top 10 team, but still trying to find a way in there. And what I was going to say before was the Timberwolves just signed Mike Conley to a 2-year extension, I believe.
Why not? He's been
Something like
steady.
that.
He's been
Yeah.
steady for him.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he's been very good.
Good veteran player, good guy to have in the lineup. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely a good place to fit. And the Golden State game, I'm not sure if that one's national TV or not.
I don't
but
know.
I think it might be TNT, but I'm not sure. But of course, you're gonna go against Steph Curry, which I don't even think the Knicks will play Golden State this year. They still have to play them in Oakland. They still got to play. So
I don't believe so. Now
Yeah.
Golden State, it was rough. Then they brought Clay off the bench. I think that was the last game before the break where they played Utah. But they have racked up a decent-sized win streak. Like, they beat Indiana in a blowout. They beat the 76ers twice. And obviously against the Suns, Steph gave them the old night-night on KD, which was fun to watch.
all you gotta do is just go to sleep, just rock them good night. That's all
I love
That's
they
all
did
you
it-
gotta do.
I love they did it on KD because, like, come on, that was Steph's team, KD, on those 2 title teams.
Yeah, I mean, KD kind of just got carried, but still, he did his thing, of course. But it's been a short and sweet episode, but the second half of the season is upon us. The All-Star break is past us.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting near March. March is right around the corner. Spring break is coming up soon, so
Baseball's on the horizon soon.
spring training starting this week. The New York Yankees are starting their spring training on Sunday against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
Your Philadelphia Phillies are starting when?
I don't really know. I haven't been keeping up that much, but I know they reported down to Clearwater. But again, baseball's back, and it's exciting. It's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun season of Major League Baseball, of course, and Giancarlo Stanton's looking good, by the way, guys. Don't worry.
He really slimmed down.
He's looking great. So it's been a fun episode, short and sweet, but right to the point of the All-Star break closing out. Second half of the season is upon us. The Knicks are looking to shake off the injuries and get right back into it on Thursday night against the 76ers. Make sure to tune in. Watch the game, of course, and then they got Boston on Saturday and Detroit and New Orleans and Golden State to follow that. From here on Empire State Hoops, I'm Adam Rothschild, and alongside me is Matt Vargo, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one, everyone.
Peace.